one of our speakers at the opening luncheon, well, actually both of them were absolutely exceptional, and one of them did a whole study on generations, starting with people in their 80s, and showing how the differences for each block of generations affected how we learn, how we deal with things, and how we accept things that are new. And we're all sitting here when they talk about millennials going, yep, we see that all the time. But Trustee Gasharian and I attended a conference on MOOCs, which is something that we really want to start pushing more here at CLC to help cut down student costs on textbooks and printed material. Was put on by County College. And you want to comment on that?
Yeah, I think we've all heard that term floating around. If you don't know what the acronym stands for, it's massive open online classrooms. These are global in scope. These are not just students from the U.S. These are not just necessarily students that are traditionally at County College. But what happened at that school, which was very interesting, was they had in charge from their board of trustees 2 years ago to integrate MOOCs somewhere into the offerings at the college. So what that college did was started with a librarian, and a librarian developed a course on online reputation, which then they used as part of their whole student success program. So MOOCs, the traditional MOOCs are not necessarily credit classes, and this was not a credit class. It was basically 12 hours, 3-week course. Incoming students take it. First of all, they find out about their online reputation. Sometimes they find out things they didn't particularly like, that maybe their friends had posted or they had posted, and then they learn how to manage their online reputation. Then they talked about another one that was about energy, but the teachers that did this completely gratis. No one was paid, no one got release time. It was all, as they described, done because it was the right thing to do, and because they got professional development from it. But they developed all the lectures, they used all different formats, they used smartphone presentations and quizzes, and they were totally excited about it, and it was, everyone enjoyed it. I think it was the most heavily attended session of the conference. So I have all kinds of materials for Dr. Haney, but definitely some materials on that one. And Linda Paul has been talking about this for a long time, so I immediately thought of Linda when we were in there. And she would be happy if we would come back and say, let's see what we can do with this.
And then I'm going to have information for Dr. Haney as well, because I attended a session that feeds right into what we're trying to do right now. And this was put on by Montgomery County, Maryland. They have a program now called ACES, Achieving College Excellence and Success, where they have 10 coaches in their local high schools, 3 coaches on campus, and then a part-time data and tracking person. And they have set up a program that runs a student success readiness program. They start in the 11th grade. Students can apply for the ACES program. They have to submit specific applications. They're chosen blind, and they fill the courses after the apps are blind reviewed. They had 530 students this year. Those students made at least 5 visits to the college each year. They worked as pages or in unpaid positions for various employers or at career fairs, etc. They weren't picked on whether or not they had the best GPA, but they're finding they had to write a 250-word essay in order to apply for this. They're finding that their student success rate has jumped significantly since they specifically partnered with their local high schools and started bringing these students along so that they've already got the skills before they even come to the community college. So this is something, and then they partnered in addition with the university so that when the students want to transfer out of that, they've got somewhere to go. So this is a program that I'll be giving you info on too.
You know, Amanda, that sounds like that would piggyback very nicely with the program to study electronic website that to develop as well. So that's probably something we should be doing. Such a rich level of the
Just come back and we pile stuff on it. So
Yes, you go to one on facilities and administrative services.
Are there any other comments regarding the ACCT National Conference?
Yes, I was there as well, and I would suggest that we do take a look at what the cities of colleges in the city of Chicago are doing. Paul Wolf, the chairman of the city colleges, spoke as one of the keynote speakers as well. And I think they've got a lot of ideas going on with their GTS system, pathway for students, giving them a clear pathway to completing the degrees. Their graduation rates are up significantly, and each school has become a destination point for a specific career. Logistics and distribution, George Washington College has become a business school, and I think Malcolm X is going to put this in our university. So I think that's worth something to look at, and maybe some things that we could glean from what the lead mentioned. Carol Hyman is running the city colleges, Paul Wolf is the chairman of the board, that we might want to take a good look at as well.
She was excellent, presented some extremely good information and data. She's also, I think, chairman of the Joyce Foundation. I think she's vice chair of the city colleges, but unbelievable, her presentation. Anyone else?
Just one program that I thought that was something we really ought to take a close look at. There's one school in California that's from a completely minority population. Salinas, California, where much of the population are migrant workers. So many of them are not English speaking when they arrive, but they had a summer internship STEM program that was just really remarkable. Obviously, grants played a big part in it. They started with NASA grants and then NSF grants, and then cooperative agreements with local industry and local universities, and they got their kids doing original undergraduate research. And they then handed out this whole booklet on the symposium that they presented at the end of the term of the students doing these research jobs. And, of course, then they invited all the dignitaries, they thanked all the mentors and all the corporations and the professors from the universities that helped them. It became a win-win thing. Some of the students were doing multiple summer internships. So they talked about how you fund something like that, where the grants you get, cooperation with your local four-year institutions, and obviously we have and corporations. So they had a lot of how-tos on how to run their program. So
More for rich.
yeah, more for rich, and then, but in the, we have a new dean in this area, and we have some new programs in that area. So I thought that this is something we might have some people interested in.
Madam Chairman, I attended a legal seminar, but I didn't, yes, so did Dr. Griffin, but they didn't hand out any information, so we have nothing to give to you about. But that's okay. but also, I think it's imperative that we also thank the firm of Robbins and Schwartz for hosting the reception.
The reception, yes, thank you.
For trustees on Thursday night, and that was very nice of you guys, so thank you.
I was in the voting session during the week for the vote, so I missed it.
So, one last question. On that comment about the tuition waiver for the student trustee, is there any of our other institutions doing that? Do we know that they're doing?
Yeah, there are a few who commented there, but I don't know it, though I think we're from Illinois, I think some of them were that said they must,
But yeah, that's right.
yeah.
They were.
A couple in California, and that was one of those students started. And basically, they just have tuition for some fees covered, or they have half tuition covered, or they don't have any tuition covered, which one of our student trustees that attended was very vocal about the fact that he was receiving nothing for this job, and that's part of the reason why.
Just like us.
Yeah, right.
Well, I think it is, President Weber mentioned, I think it's worth looking into. Sure. And also be interested in what type of criteria they have that goes along with that. not just the tuition waiver, perhaps, something we could debate, but what is the criteria that goes along with that? I mean, what is the responsibility of that trustee we clearly laid out, our student trustees that clearly laid out too? So we're going to do that, let's make sure we get Catholic that information.
Absolutely, I'll be sure to talk to you and speak with Steve so that schedule a time. In fact, in my SEC staff meeting coming in November, and definitely talking about that and have a good report ready for you guys during the November meeting.
And just as a point of reference for my fellow trustees, our student government does give out what they call service awards to the leadership of student government. So it is something that is done. Financial risk.
Students are in the Student Government Association, I don't know, Karen.
Well,
Karen, do we give for the Student Government Association, do those students get some kind of stipend?
No, they get paid by the hour. So they're in the office working.
So those are office, that we get them employed in the office and then they're paid hourly?
Yes.
But they do work on the short hours.
Right.
Is that through the federal state program?
Well, probably if they're eligible, but if they're not, then we get that service.
And I think that's part of the additional knowledge when we raise tuition, at one time we put additional knowledge in the activity fee.
Okay, moving on with the chairman's report. We have 2 retirement resolutions, one for Peggy Albrecht, Office Associate Financial Aid Office, and one for Marilyn Van Creed, Curriculum Coordinator, Educational Affairs. Neither one were able to attend the board meeting. I request that we unanimously accept those resolutions as presented and that they be made part of the official minutes to honor Peggy Albrecht and Marilyn Van Creed. Second? Second. All in favor? Unanimously adopted. So, now I'd ask our student, Bella T. Day, to report on CLC student activities, conferences, and other issues.
All right. So, first we reporting on the Student Government Association and what we've been up to. So, SGA had their first meeting in years here at the Lakeshore campus and met with the Student Association in an effort to reach out and include the other campuses in student affairs. And I had the pleasure of attending the ASGA conference in DC with the executive board, and we were able to attend helpful workshops and network with student government associations from across the nation. And there were about, I want to say, 4,000 student government members present at this conference, so it was a really, really big, really great opportunity for all of us. And then SGA participated in the Pie in the Face fundraiser for the Foundation Scholarship with great success of donating either $25 or creaming ourselves in the face with pie for a good cause. I did both, donating and creaming. There are pictures on Facebook.
Hope the pie was good.
And SGA helped sponsor the candlelight ceremony for domestic abuse awareness in Waukegan, and our senators met with U.S. State Senator Melinda Bush. So great representation there. She was very impressed. And then the student experience team joined with the diversity commission. Sorry. And then SGA is currently holding our Caramel Apple fundraiser, both today and tomorrow. And we would like to request your support to help raise money to continue our contributing to the campus through our events. And then we teamed up with program board and several clubs to bring the first haunted room to CLC for the enjoyment of the student body and celebration of Halloween. And in addition to a costume contest on Friday with 3 prizes for the best costumes. Now moving on to campus events, we had several student success speakers come to college to empower and motivate the students before midterms began. So we had Julie Gordon, who was invited by the Diversity Commission with 150 people in attendance at both Great Lake and Lakeshore, and his presentation was co-sponsored by all 3 campuses. The Men of Vision held their annual Man Up conference with approximately 500 students in attending. And then Lancers Radio launched with the help of 20 students and 2 interns to make that possible. And then tomorrow we will actually have former NFL Chicago Bears player Adrian Peterson. I know former NFL Chicago Bears player Adrian Peterson. is coming to speak on both the Grayslake and Laker campuses about both don't diss liabilities, addressing his speech impairment, and how he was able to overcome his struggles and be successful. And CLC Sexual Violence Elimination Team is hosting the Stalking Conference, the first of its kind for students for free, raising awareness of the problem of gender and sexual-based violence on college campuses nationwide. And we'd like to say congratulations to the Lancers men's cross-country team for winning the Skyway Conference Championship and the Region, I want to say 4, Championship. I apologize. And Coach Steve Gorman and the team will travel to Lubbock, Texas for the November 8th NJCAA Division First National Cross Country Meet. This ends my report.
Thank you.
Nice.
We have one board agenda announcement, item number 7.2, the resolution estimating the 2014 tax levy. The proposed levy would increase taxes for the operating funds and special tax levy funds by 3.47% from the 2013 tax extensions. The debt service tax levy is based on an established schedule for bond payments. The debt service levy for 2014 will decrease by 3.9% from the 2013 percentage based on the debt service payment schedule. The total of all levies represents a 3.3% increase from the total 2013 tax extensions. That resolution is included in tonight's packet. All districts in the state of Illinois are required to determine the amount of taxes necessary to be levied for the year not less than 20 days prior to the official adoption of the aggregate tax levy. Official adoption of the 2014 levy for the college is scheduled for the November board meeting. We're not required to publish a notice or conduct a hearing since the levy is less than 5%. Does anyone have any comments regarding this?
Any comments when we get to the agenda?
This is an agenda item.
Call it something.
No.
I will request a closed meeting under the Illinois compiled statute 5 ILCS 120, section 2C1, the appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of specific employees of the public body. 2C5, purchase or lease of real property for the use of the public body. There now will be action after the closed session because we'll be voting on the minutes that we held. So originally, there was not going to be any action. That concludes the chairman's report.